All right, now I'm going to review metric prefixes with you. I think you've been exposed to most of these, but because chemistry deals with such small and big numbers, there might be some new ones on this list. So to know the basic ones, so you've heard of kilo, maybe not hecta and deca, but you've heard of centa and milli. To know the basic ones, there's a little saying that goes with it. People know King Henry died belly up drinking chocolate milk. And that'll help you know this list from the biggest at the top to the smallest at the bottom. And that's important because I'm going to teach you a trick so that you are always consistently getting this right. So the new ones are mega. Again, you might not know hecta and deca. Micro. Its symbol is actually, it looks like a cursive U, so I had to hand draw it in there. And nano is just an N. The capital, you'll see this capital M for mega. That capital M is important. You will see it can't be a lowercase m because milli is a lowercase m, and that would be very confusing. Deci and deca both start with D's, so you can see that deca is a DA versus deci is just a D. So they do that to keep them straight. Now, the most important part is your base unit. It's going to go after these letters that are in parentheses. So in this class, we're pretty much going to deal with grams, meters, and liters. We're not going to really deal with seconds. That is more in physics. I would say those three are your major ones you're going to deal with. So what you need to know is how much they're worth. That is the key to being successful. So a mega is worth 1,000,000. Now, you will see I often write 1,000,000 like that because I don't want to punch in 6 zeros in my calculator. It gets like, what if I punch in only 5 zeros and then my math's all wrong? So I will often plug in 1,000,000 as 1 times 10 to the 6th in my calculator so I don't make a mistake. Kilo is worth 1,000, hecto is worth 100, and deca is worth 10. Now, going to the little ones, again, because these are small ones, deci is only worth 10, centa is worth 100, milli is worth 1,000, micro is worth 1,000,000, and nano, I think you've heard of nanoseconds, is worth 1,000,000,000. So what does this mean? Well, again, it's in terms of big to small. So because kilo is bigger, it does not mean that there are 1,000 kilometers in 1 meter. No way, right? That doesn't make sense. Because kilo is worth 1,000, you put a 1 next to the bigger unit. So whoever's higher ranking on the scale gets the 1 always. Whatever the number is worth goes next to the other unit. Let's try another one. Let me show you what I mean. If I had to compare a hectoliter to a liter, which one's bigger? Well, hecto is higher, right? Right here. So I'm going to put a 1 next to that. What is hecto worth? 100. So there's 100 liters in 1 hectoliter. Now what about the little ones? What if I wanted to compare a deciliter to a liter? Which one's bigger? A liter. So I'm going to put a 1 next to it because liter is here. It's way above deci. What is deci worth? It's worth 10. So there's 10 deciliters in 1 liter. Nano. If I want to compare a nanometer to a meter, which one's bigger? Meter, because meter's all the way up there. So I'm going to put a 1 next to that. What is nano worth? It's worth 1,000,000,000. So there's 1,000,000,000 nanometers in 1 nanometer. So how do we apply this? How many milliliters are in 5 liters? Again, if I had to compare milliliter to liter, liter is bigger, right? It outranks it on that chart. What is milli worth? It's worth 1,000. So if you have 5 liters, you have 5,000 milliliters. I'm going to show you eventually in a day or two how we do these in conversions, and we're going to do this differently. We won't, you'll see, we're going to do it, we're just going to do it differently. All right, the next one. If I want to compare a kilometer to a meter, kilo is up higher, right? We just did this one. So I'm going to put a 1 next to that. What is kilo worth? It's worth 1,000. So there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So if I have 7,500 meters, it's actually going to be 7.5 kilometers. Now, if you can't do that real quick in your head, no worries. Again, I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. You can see on my chart over here, I do not deal with decimals down here. 0.01, 0.001, 0.1. Some of you might have learned it that way in middle school. I see more errors and more confusion happen with that, so I do not teach it that way. I teach it this way. Again, big to small. Whichever unit is bigger, I put the 1 next to. What it's worth, I put the number next to the other unit. If that's confusing right now, don't worry. Oh my goodness, are we going to have lots of practice on this as we get into something called dimensional analysis. The point of this video is just to introduce the prefixes and show you how much they're worth. And then I will show you how we apply it. All right, hope that helped.